Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive crisis that's unfolding in the Strait of Hormuz, probably the most important shipping lane on the entire planet. But the thing that's bringing global trade to its knees isn't what you'd expect. It's not a military blockade. It's something invisible, and honestly, way more powerful.
Okay, so here's the big puzzle. You've got the world's most powerful navy out there, and governments are officially saying, hey, it's all clear, keep the ships coming. And yet, the ships are gone. They've just vanished. So why on earth would an entire industry just stop cold when they've been told everything is perfectly safe?
And this really shows you the disconnect between what's being said and what's actually happening. On one hand, you have the official story, hey, most of you are fine, you can pass. But on the other hand, the data from the water tells a completely different story. Traffic has basically fallen off a cliff. The whole industry is voting with its anchors, and they're just not buying the official line.
What you get from this disconnect is a really strange situation, something you could call a phantom blockade. I mean, technically, the strait is wide open, but for the people who actually move the world's stuff, it might as well be closed.
And you can see the real-world effect right here. It's stark. We've gone from this bustling hub of activity to a total ghost town. But that huge drop, it isn't because of mines in the water or missiles flying around. It's because of an invisible force that really, truly governs all of global commerce.
So, if it's not a physical blockade stopping these ships, what is it? What is the real power here keeping everyone away? Well, the true gatekeeper isn't a navy. It's the global insurance market.
To really get this, you gotta know about something called war risk insurance. You just can't sail a billion-dollar supertanker through a sketchy part of the world without it. It's the policy that protects you from the absolute worst-case scenario.
And this right here, this is the financial trigger for the whole crisis. The cost for that war risk insurance hasn't just gone up a little bit, it is shot through the roof. And in some cases, insurers are just flat out refusing to offer a policy at any price. The market is basically screaming, in financial terms, that the risk is off the charts.
And this all boils down to one simple, completely unbreakable rule in modern shipping. It doesn't matter what a president says, it doesn't matter what a navy does. If you can't get insurance for your ship, that ship isn't going anywhere. Period. It's the ultimate veto power.
So what this all points to is the real core of the problem. This isn't a military issue at all. It's a trust issue, a massive trust deficit, really. The basic confidence you need for global trade to even work, it's been shattered.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A ship owner isn't listening to some politician at a press conference giving assurances. No, they're on the phone with their underwriter in London who is running the cold, hard numbers on the probability of them losing their entire ship. And those are two very different conversations.
So this puts a ship owner in a pretty impossible spot. On one side, you have the government saying, you're fine, you're safe. But on the other, you have the insurance market saying, the danger is so high we can barely even put a price on it. Now, if you've got your crew and $1 billion asset on the line, who are you going to trust?
The answer, of course, is obvious. When that trust just disappears, rational people do not take huge risks. They find another way around the problem. And that single decision made over and over again is now creating these massive consequences for all of us.
You can just imagine the scene in boardrooms all over the world. The calculation is dead simple. You look at the jaw-dropping insurance bill, you hear the warnings from the market, and you weigh all that against a government press release. You know what? The only rational business decision is to divert the ship.
And the ripple effects of that one decision, when multiplied by an entire industry, are just staggering. Ships are literally taking the long way around Africa. That adds weeks to every single trip, and the fuel costs are just enormous. This is creating what's called a de facto supply disruption. It's a self-inflicted crisis, born entirely out of caution, not conflict.
So what we're really watching here isn't just a logistical headache. It's a fundamental crisis of confidence in the systems that our entire global economy is built on. And that has some pretty dangerous long-term implications.
You know, this problem just gets worse every single day. The longer the strait stays this empty, the more this disruption just becomes the new normal. Supply chains start to find permanent new routes, contracts get rewritten, and the idea that the Strait of Hormuz is a closed lane just gets baked into the system. And that makes going back to the way things were almost impossible.
So when it comes right down to it, the physical waterway, that's actually the secondary issue here. The real choke point, the one that's been squeezed shut, is that fragile ecosystem of trust, insurance, and financial confidence that a ship needs before it can even think about starting its journey.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one you can't avoid. Forget about geopolitics for just a second. If it was your money, your ship, and your crew on the line, would you sail through there right now, just based on a promise from the government? Your gut answer to that question tells you everything you need to know about why the world's most important shipping lane is empty.